The lady from Washington is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last Congress, Democrats worked hard to address unemployment fraud with the passage of the American Rescue Plan. And unfortunately, as currently drafted, this bill is not about addressing fraud. This bill would move us backwards by cutting the funds we passed in the American Rescue Plan to fight fraud. If the committee wants to move the needle on this issue, we should follow the recommendations of our hearing witnesses and let states focus on preventing fraud, not sending collection squads after working families. The Republican bill would target innocent workers who lost their jobs during the pandemic, who received DUI benefits and spent the money that states told them they qualified for on basic necessities. This bill would empower states to target workers for 10 years, target workers and ask them to repay funds they no longer have or face steep penalties. Think about what's happening here for a moment. On one hand, Republicans are opposing increased IRS enforcement to protect wealthy tax cheats by conjuring up this image that thousands of IRS agents would be pounding on your door. While on the other hand, they're advancing this bill, which would send a new bill to hardworking Americans who filled out unemployment insurance applications honestly and received benefits that their state said they qualified for. The amendment I'm offering would protect parents from receiving surprise bills that are the result of errors made by their states, not them. We should be focused on targeting the criminal rings that perpetrated these international frauds instead of going after these families who acted in good faith. Many parents were unable to work for significant stretches of the pandemic because childcare providers shut down and many schools shifted to virtual learning that required parent supervision. Unemployment benefits kept these families afloat during some of the most challenging moments of the pandemic. As soon as they could, these parents, many women, returned to work, but childcare is even more expensive and difficult for them to find than it was before the pandemic. A new report by the Department of Labor estimates that childcare costs 8 to 19% of median family income per child. In addition, we know that childcare is significantly less affordable for single-parent households and households of color than it is for two-parent white households. Consider that Lindsay, a mom who shared her experience about unemployment insurance with Moms Rising, she said, quote, "My husband is on furlough right now because we do not have childcare for our 2-year-old due to the pandemic. My work has me on conference calls and in meetings all day long, and it's not possible for me to watch our son and still work. Unemployment insurance allowed my husband to take on childcare duties for the short term until he's able to go back to work. We're both 40 years old, and this is the first time either of us has used unemployment insurance to make ends meet." I share this story to illustrate that workers were and are doing all they can to care for their young children while also meeting basic household needs. So instead of saddling parents with another bill right now, as my Republican colleagues are proposing, let's focus on the issues that Americans want us to work on, like lowering costs and helping parents get back to work. I urge my colleagues to vote yes on this amendment, and I yield back.